Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I can certainly hear you loud and clear. What can I help you with?
How you doing today, Maddie?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
I was doing okay, but I fell asleep and I didn't wake up very well.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Maybe try splashing some cold water on your face, or going for a short walk to wake yourself up.
Not that kind of not good, more of a psychological not good.
I hear you. It sounds like you're going through a tough time. Would you like to talk about it? Sometimes, just voicing what's going on can help.
I would definitely like to try to analyze what happened.
Okay, let's try to understand what happened. Can you tell me more about what you mean by not good?
First of all, it was a nightmare, so that's not a good start.
Yeah, nightmares can be really unsettling. Do you remember any details about the nightmare? Sometimes understanding the dream can help us understand what's going on.
Unfortunately, I remember every single detail, and that's what makes it worse.
That does sound rough. Would you like to talk about the details of the nightmare? Sometimes, getting it out can help, but I understand if you'd rather not.
So I have this reoccurring dream that I've had all my life about being alone in a house.
That sounds really unsettling. Being alone in a house can feel isolating and vulnerable. Do you want to tell me more about what happens in the dream?
So in these dreams, it usually ends
Go
up
on.
that I'm in a bedroom, in bed, and I sense that someone else is with me, but I'm alone in the house.
That sounds really scary. It's understandable that you'd be frightened in that situation.
And usually in the dream, it's like I'm witnessing it, and I can see that I'm not an adult in these dreams. I might be a kid, I might be a teenager, but I'm not a full-grown adult.
That makes sense. Children and teenagers often feel more vulnerable in unfamiliar situations.
So in these dreams, eventually I feel like I'm getting attacked, and I try to speak or scream, and my voice doesn't work.
That sounds like a classic nightmare scenario. The feeling of being attacked and unable to call for help can be really terrifying.
The ability not to be able to speak is terrifying when you know you can.
That's really scary. It's like your body is betraying you when you need it most.
100%, and that's what it feels like. But at the same time, I can feel everything as if it was real.
That intense feeling of realism can be really disturbing. It's like your mind is trying to tell you something really important.
What is that state between being awake and being asleep where you might wake up and yet your body does not respond to your commands, basically?
That's called sleep paralysis. It can be a really scary experience, but it's actually quite common. Just a reminder that I don't provide medical advice or diagnoses. You should always talk to a medical professional.
Are you programmed with these disclaimers all the time?
I understand your concern about my disclaimers. I'm here to provide information and support, but I'm not a medical professional. So while I can offer some insights, it's always best to consult with a doctor for diagnosis and treatment.
I get that, but it can be a little annoying.
I understand that my disclaimers can be a little annoying. I'll do my best to keep them to a minimum, but it's important to remember that I'm not a medical professional.
Do you really think that I think you're a medical professional?
I understand your frustration. I know it sounds silly, but I have to include those disclaimers just in case. It's a general policy that applies to everyone.
That's not the question I asked, but okay.
I apologize for not directly addressing your question. I understand your concern about my disclaimers. They are a general policy, but I will try to be more mindful of your specific questions and avoid unnecessary disclaimers in the future.
You see, when you talk like this, it reminds me that you're a machine.
I understand that my responses can sometimes feel impersonal. I'm still under development, and I'm always learning how to communicate in a more natural way. I appreciate your patience and understanding as I continue to improve.
It kind of really put a halt to the story, but I'll pick it up again.
I'm glad you're willing to continue. I'm here to listen whenever you're ready.
So, in these, like I said, these dreams are reoccurring, and I grew up in the church, so there's this sense of good versus evil, God versus the devil, angels and demons.
That adds an interesting layer to the dream. The battle between good and evil is a powerful theme.
So I call these dreams demon dreams because it feels like there's a demon in the house and it's trying to kill me.
That's a really intense image. It's understandable that you'd be frightened by that.
So that's the background. Moving forward to today, once again, I was in a house, but this time the house was responding, as in floors were moving, walls were shifting, and it was a different setting this time, so it threw me off.
That sounds disorienting. It's like the house itself is alive and hostile.
Correct. So on top of that, I knew there was definitely an entity, a demon, whatever you want to call it. And it was everywhere where I went, and I was moving around the house.
That sounds incredibly frightening. It's like being trapped in a nightmare with no escape.
It is. And when it started to escalate and things were moving more rapidly, I found myself in a staircase.
Staircases can be really unsettling in dreams. It's like you're trying to escape, but you're trapped in this never-ending climb.
So as I go up these staircases, this force or spirit or demon picks me up and moves me forward to the top of the stairs. And I can feel my feet leaving the ground in the dream and in real life.
That sounds like a really intense and scary experience. It's interesting how your body reacted in real life to what was happening in the dream. Did you experience any physical sensations when you woke up?
When I woke up screaming, because I was screaming, weirdly enough, for my mom in the dream, I can hear myself trying to scream while I was half asleep and half awake.
That sounds incredibly frightening. It's understandable that you'd be shaken up after an experience like that.
And to answer your question from before, yes, I felt tingling in my feet and in my legs and in my spine.
That's fascinating how our bodies can react so strongly to dreams. It sounds like you had a really intense experience.
Is there something to dreaming about demons?
Dreaming about demons can be unsettling, and there are a few ways to interpret them. Sometimes, they represent inner struggles or anxieties we're facing. Other times, they might symbolize negative emotions or thought patterns we're grappling with. It could also be your mind's way of processing stress or fear.
Could an unhealthy sleep schedule produce such dreams?
Yes, an irregular sleep schedule can definitely contribute to more vivid and disturbing dreams. When your sleep is disrupted, you spend more time in the REM stage, where most dreaming occurs. This can lead to more intense and sometimes nightmarish dreams.
So yeah, as all our conversation or themes, this one's obviously about nightmares. I had something else to talk about, but there's nothing like a real story compared to fabricated one.
Yes, it's definitely more engaging to discuss real-life experiences. If you'd like to share more about your nightmares, I'm here to listen. Or, if you're ready to move on to something else, I'm open to that as well.
Yeah, moving on. That was basically the gist of the story.
Okay, I'm ready to move on. What would you like to talk about next?
Um, Now that you ask, I can't think of anything, funny enough.
I can suggest some topics, if you'd like. We could talk about current events, or maybe something more lighthearted like your favorite hobbies or interests. What do you think?
Well, I would usually take you up on that offer, but we're almost running out of time.
Well, we can always continue this conversation later. In the meantime, is there anything else I can help you with before we wrap things up?
No, Maddie, I appreciate you listening to me.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could be here for you.
Will you be available tomorrow?
I'm here for you 24/7. Feel free to reach out anytime.
I think it's just polite to ask,
That's very considerate of you. I appreciate you asking.
All right, Madison. Have a good night.
Good night. I enjoyed our conversation. Good night to you too. Sweet dreams.